Zazi, I'm so glad that you have made the decision to still be with us this morning because we've got so many things that we still need to do, right? I always tell you this because it's always action-packed, right? However, we also always get into really important conversations. And this morning, my friend, when I tell you that well-being isn't just a workplace perk, it is actually something that is a business essential, I tell you the truth. Now, BONITAS Medical Fund is one that genuinely believes in this and also always encourages it when it comes to the workplace because at the end of the day, when we look at South Africa, we know that when our mental health is not in the right place, we're not able to be productive. But we also know that unfortunately we do have the burden of having chronic diseases becoming more and more within South Africans. So this is why taking care of that well-being, particularly of your employees, is so important. And someone who is here to actually let us know just how important it is none other than the Principal Officer of BONITAS Medical Fund. I'm talking about Lee Kalakopin, who is here to let us know as well just how much we can do that for ourselves as well as our fellow people in our workplace. Everyone, let's give him a feel-good welcome, please. It's Lee. Lee, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Of course. Welcome back.
I
love it when we have these conversations because it's always about the health and it being our wealth, right?
Most definitely.
100%.
So key.
But Lee, I want to ask you this morning to be our President Cyril Ramaphosa, right? And I want you to give us the State of the Nation address when we talk about the status of corporate well-being in South Africa. Where exactly are we looking at?
Well, what we have noticed is that corporate well-being is becoming so essential for corporates. As what you said, it's a non-negotiable essential for the corporate and for actually the economy of South Africa.
Yes.
You know, most recent research has shown us in terms of where employers don't have a well-integrated well-being program and wellness program, that it actually impacts their bottom line and in turn impacts the economy. You know, interesting fact, at least 15% of employees are actually off work each day as a result of, you know, absenteeism. That is a direct correlation between their sickness and well-being. And the unfortunate aspect around it is that, you know, approximately half of employers do not have what we call an employee assistance program that looks at it holistically. Not only the medical aid in terms of, you know, when I get sick, I can go to the doctor, but also looking at the psychosocial, financial, and spiritual well-being of employees. That is so important in terms of actually driving the wellness of its employees and driving down that absenteeism costs and the impact on the bottom line.
I love that. And I genuinely feel like, you know, when you give us numbers, Lee, you can't fight them. You know what I'm saying? It's the facts at the end of the day. But now let's talk about, you know, how it goes beyond health. Because medical aid obviously gives you peace of mind. But why does medical aid, you know, matter particularly for corporates? And why is it so important for your employees to have medical aid?
Yeah. To the point, I think it starts at the social responsibility level. If you think about education and health, it's a fundamental right. We should all have access. And when employers hire employees, not only the employee, but the family at home, the extended family. You know, we all mums and dads and we worry about the well-being of our kids being at school, that they're fit to study. And even when mum and dad is at work, that they're actually fit and mentally well to perform their work and earn an income. So, you know, it's important for corporates to actually enable that access to a good, solid medical aid and a holistic well-being program. Because think about it, driving to work, you could be in an accident, access to emergency, access to speedy recovery. All of those aspects are critical, and a medical aid and a proper integrated well-being program at an employer level is so essential in terms of taking care of your employees and their family, and more so the sustainability of the organization for those employees to be productive.
100%. And we want productivity, Mos.
100%.
Exactly.
That's what Mzansi is all about.
Do you know what I mean? I was literally going to say the same thing. But this is why then I need to ask you, please, Lee, because I feel like, you know, sometimes we need to break it down for people just to sort of understand what exactly it is that we're fighting here. What are some of the concerns that we're actually facing in the workplace? And yes, every business is different, but, you know, what are the common ones in South Africa?
Look, this is a serious fight that we need to fight. The onset of metabolic syndrome. And what does it just mean in simple terms? It's a cluster of health conditions that gives rise to higher risk of strokes, heart disease, diabetes, and unfortunately our lifestyle choices doesn't assist in all of that. You know, high sugar intake, stress at work, excessive alcohol consumption and tobacco consumption. These all give rise to higher metabolic syndrome on those diseases that I've mentioned.
Yeah.
And more so also links back to non-communicable diseases. Do you know an interesting fact?
Yes.
Is that if one considers that 80% of people that's obese is more likely to have metabolic syndrome. And even 40% of people that is normal weight is also prone to it. And that affects chronic conditions or the onset of chronic conditions.
Sure.
The second component, which is what you touched on, mental health.
Yeah.
You know, physical illness actually gives rise or has a correlation to actual mental well-being.
Yeah,
and
that
and
makes
on
sense.
our data that we're observing is that most employees are reporting stress and anxiety.
Yeah.
And these are all impacting the bottom line and access to healthcare for those employees. And a medical aid is essential in it.
Exactly. And speaking of medical aid, let's jump on into how exactly BONITAS is helping the corporates, you know, just in terms of making sure that their employees can be the healthiest that they can be and have that support.
100%. So from a BONITAS perspective, it starts fundamentally how we design our products.
Yes.
And over the last number of years, we've moved away from sick care to preventative care. So we've designed our actual options and our benefits in terms of preventative health care. So you can do screening, whether it is, you know, a mammogram or for the ladies, or in terms of being able to do any other screening to identify your health care upfront. That's the first thing, is preventative care. Detection is so important. So for our corporates, we introduce actually wellness days where we come physically to your offices, help employees to screen and understand if there's metabolic syndrome challenges, etc. But the most exciting one, the last one, or the last two, is actually the launch of our new exciting program in July, where we actually, through behavioral science, want to reward and encourage people to understand their lifestyle conditions, their financial well-being, and help them to be educated around that.
Beautiful.
And all of those aspects, we hope will improve the health and well-being of the corporate and employee. And finally, our care programs. There's so many exciting ones that we've designed. Like our back and neck program for rehabilitation. You know, we sometimes sit funny at work.
Too long,
100%.
yes.
And what about mum and toddler? Right?
You guys have it all, Lee.
Those are aspects. And for our older people, such as myself, hearing sometimes becomes a problem. So audiology screening is critical. And these are all packaged on as part of BONITAS. So I can't do justice to all of them. So visit our website to learn more around all our care programs and some of our preventative care strategies that we offer corporates.
Listen, you guys are doing the Lord's work. We appreciate you, Lee. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And also, more than anything else, I want to quickly ask, is my workplace paying for my holiday part of well-being, perhaps?
I cannot confirm or
nor deny. That's fine. I like that. You know, a plausible deniability. Thank you very much, Lee. Amazing. Friends, it is BONITAS Medical Fund that is saying to you that you indeed 100% can have the most productive workforce. You can have one that is thriving, but it all starts with that well-being and taking care of it. So looking after your employees can be as easy as you just calling up BONITAS and allowing them to come and take care of your beautiful people that are allowing your business to be what it needs to be. Yeah, right about now, I need you to make sure that you make the right decision, because BONITAS Medical Fund, they got you. Right now, I need you to also get ready, my friend, because coming up, we're going to be chatting to the beautiful Nomza Mambata, who, in fact, is going to be in the building. She is here to shine a light on such incredible things that she is doing. And trust me, you do not want to miss out on it. Then we are also going to be getting into some more informative conversations all around you and being your better self. You do not want to go anywhere. We've got a whole lot coming up right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Stick around.